So the cultural festival is here in episode 11 of The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. We'll just have to see what's going to happen. But if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access to non-seasonal shows on the YouTube memberships. But other than that, let us get started. Damn, dude. What a cool mom. You should get your ears pierced. Damn, dude, your mom told you to dye your hair? What a cool mom. She just wants her son to be a bad boy. You know, go back to repeating. What a cool mom. Hey, son. Why don't you do all the things that the teenagers would do? With a mom like that, you can't even rebel because she's encouraging you to do so. Mie continues to have her little ponytail up. What is it? What is that? A piercing? It was an earring? Or... Okay. I'm just like, it just looks like a bead. You see the holes in her ears? Oh, it's being blocked by her luscious hair. Is it because you've never, like, you don't oh, there's her ear. I was gonna say, you don't often see her ear? Prejudice? Well, if you like her, you'll be like, oh, she looks great out of her way. I was thinking, I'm like, was it just like some sort of bead or something? Well, that answers that question. Mystery, it's gone. Relatable. But you know, maybe you kind of just get it over with, you know? It kind of just goes boom. The little piercing gun. Oh my god, she's touching your ear. That's a sensitive spot, you know? Not cute, but cool. Hi, Mom. I might consider getting a piercing. He's just... Is he just looking up? One word from her. Mom on Amazon already. It's almost 6. Goddamn. You should try breaking your curfew. Come on, be a little rebel. Come on, Mie. You're a teenager. Oh, shit. The worst kind of punishment. Lack of sugar in the morning. Uh-oh. If he's here alone with Someya. Uh-oh. No, you are going to tell everyone. She's nosy AF, dude. Look at her breaking curfew. She's giving up cocoa for you, my guy. Someya's a rival. Can't have her be here with you alone. Oh, he had to get rid of the impurity in his head. Deprive of her morning cocoa. I thought it's been almost 6 for a while now. Alright. What is she doing anyways? I was asking what her job is right now. No, she'll feel bad. She stayed because she wants to help. Oh, somebody just dropped the phone? Is that Mie? What's her home screen? What's her home screen, huh? Uh-oh. mom's calling. Boy, vanish. Damn, dude. Really out here sneaking oh wait, no, he left the phone there. Oh, there she goes. Damn, just going after her instead? She's in a hurry. He says as he's following her with a shoe. Yeah, while holding her shoe. Yeah, it's just a coincidence. Oh. It's the same place, but like in a different angle. And the vending machine looks a little flat. I don't know why, I thought you were just gonna drop the shoe. Oh, now you're gonna take her shoe home? It's not that bad. And then when she comes to school, she's gonna find that her shoe's missing too. What a horrible morning. Oh, we get to see her mom. Oh, he's actually coming to give the shoe? Oh, he's giving her an excuse. Even though she could just say that she was helping. Mie vision. So blurry. Damn, dude. Mom gave no shit. Anyways, just go eat dinner, Mie. Oh, too bad we couldn't see it, huh? We only saw the back of her head. This boy's really out here, worrying about nothing. Oh, that's a middle school thing, huh? Got her glasses. She had cocoa this morning. Oh my god. His excuse worked? Makes no sense to me on how, like, Mie could have just been like, I was helping out for the cultural festival. I forgot the time. Oh, it's only fun now that you've got Mie around. That green hair one looks familiar. Like it was from One Punch Man or something. Pin cushion. Well, you know, it's usable, right? It's a pin cushion. I wonder who she looks like, huh? I wonder who she reminds you of. This episode feels a little off. I don't know why. Actually, I know why, but... Damn, dude, he really put his stalker mode on by 50% this episode. It doesn't matter. Everyone's in the gym anyways. TBH, not demanding enough. Look at Someya, dude. Ooh, asking the important question, huh? All the time. I'll only look at you sometimes now. You want to look at her face too? Well, I can't disagree with that. Damn. At the cultural festival, y'all just looked at each other in the eyes. Oh my god, he's tearing up now. Just a little. Just a little better. You're kind of like a dad. Reminds her of her dad. This is... It all... I did mention this. This is some Freudian shit that's going on. Meanwhile, Komura's just like, damn, I got Dadzoned. Somebody needs to teach this boy about fucking Freud. Just saying, and then we can even see it in the way that, like, in the morning, right, her mom was like, no cocoa, but then her dad was like, no, you know, let her have the cocoa, right, he spoils her. And then here's Komura, who's literally does the exact same thing, where, or at the very least, he tries to make sure that, you know, she feels comfortable. Calm, as she says, eh? So that odd feeling that I felt during this episode definitely isn't coming from my neck pain, but I don't know. I think despite us having the constant buildup of Komura thinking about how insecure he is, right? He's an insecure boy and he's not willing to come to the acceptance that there could be a potential feeling that she likes him. Although, did he kind of had that question before? I can't remember. I might consider looking back at the last video just to check. Okay, I just wanted to take a look at the previous episode before we head on back to the center. But, yeah, as I said, the weird, odd feeling comes from Komura himself, where it's like, I feel like we've been building up on the idea that Komura is very insecure to himself. And also, yeah, around here is when he asked himself, like, what am I exactly to Mie? Okay, so here in this part, we've got Komura who's thinking, am I allowed to think that she thinks I'm special to her, right? What does she think of me? And so that's the sort of question that he had in the last episode. So I guess it kind of, towards the end of this episode, it kind of answers it for him, where he's just like, oh shit, I got Dadzoned. It's not even a friend zone, I just got Dadzoned. But the idea of okay, I'll talk about it once we get to the center, but I just wanted to look at the previous episode. Alright, so that was episode 11 of The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was an alright episode. As I said, that odd feeling that I felt about this episode is with Komura and his insecurity, which seems to flare up in this episode. And it also, for some reason, stems from his mom. Not stems from his mom, but it kind of started in the beginning with his mom, and how his mom is over here telling him, like, oh, why don't you get your ears pierced or something for the occasion, right? It's the Gochiro Festival, it's your big day. And I love that his mom is saying that while she's drinking beer and he's the one doing dishes. Very fun. But what a mom. But apparently she's also the one who told him to dye his hair, and he did, and like he says that it doesn't look good on him. To which, right, his mom, I don't know why I keep saying her, his mom says that, you know, you should have more confidence in yourself. And then and then Komura is just like, all right, if you need me, I'm gonna go the opposite way of confidence. Fuck you, mom, I'm gonna rebel via feeling even more insecure about myself. And it kicks us off to the next scene, where he still has the idea of piercing in mind, and so he thought that perhaps Mie also has, like, piercing, and then he goes on this whole piercing fantasy ramble, and it just gets solved, like, later in the next scene, when they're in, like, the crafts, the arts and crafts room, and she's talking, and she's, you know, showing him the bead that she wants to make for her flapjack octopus. That whole thing, with the whole ear piercing thing, it's whatever, you know, it's whatever, but it continues to stir up the idea for him that I don't know, like, it's the idea that he's saying that he feels like he's a boring person, that he feels like he's a dull person, and so because of that, the things that he wants to do or the things that people are telling him would look good on him, right? He just doesn't really take that to heart. He's just like, no, this is fucking stupid. I'm not, I don't, I won't look good with piercing on. I don't even look good with my hair dyed. Which, no, at least it tells us that he has, now that I think about it, he says that he's dyed his hair. Does that mean he also dyed his eyebrows? Because they're the same color. Like, damn, dude, this guy's, he's, you know, at least he's, I was gonna say he's consistent. Yeah, he really puts in the effort, right? If he dyes his hair, he's gonna dye his eyebrows too. But I assume, right, with, since he's Japanese, his natural hair color would be black. I do enjoy the idea of, like, oh, his crush told him, oh, you would look cool with piercing. And here he is, he's just like, oh shit, looking at, like, Amazon at night in his bed and everything. Relatable. Not the whole, your crush told you that you'd look cool in something. It's just the laying in bed at night, looking at Amazon, and making bad decisions and buying things that you're like, why the fuck did I buy this for? But we're still continuing with the cultural festival, and so in the next scene, as they're setting everything up, they talk about how Mie has her curfew at 6. And she probably needs to go home, but she decides not to go home because she sees Mie and Komura, she sees Komura and Someya together, and she gets a little jealous. She doesn't want them to be close to one another, because the only person who can be close to Komura is Mie. And here is Someya, who just constantly comes in his personal space to fucking get her nose all over his situation. Like, hey, so you and Mie kiss yet? It's, hey, when you do, tell me. It's like, alright, Someya, like, let's not. You know, I appreciate your nosy enthusiasm, but let's not do that one, right? It's like, hey, tell me when you guys kiss. It's, no. Stop it. But because of that, Mie decides that she's going to stay until 7 because, well, she again, she doesn't want them to be alone with one another. And as he starts thinking about the idea that, what was it? Hold on. What did he say here? Because she wants to walk home with me. And then he slaps himself because he wants to get rid of that impurity. Why would I think she'd want to get yelled at by her parents and be deprived of her morning cocoa just to hang out with me? I mean, she said scold, right? She didn't really say yelling. You can scold someone without raising your voice, right? You can, as much as it is, yelling at your kids is not really good. The best way is to just, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Disappointment will go a long way. But yeah, he gets that idea again, right? It's this constant, this is what we've seen before, where he's constantly having thoughts of like, oh, is this a potential thing? But it feels like he kind of cranks it up by like 50% here. Like, it feels even more, it feels like it's even more like in your face now than it was before, which it was already in your face with the way that he breaks his thoughts and he doesn't want to believe what he wants to believe. So we've got Mie, who's now working with Komura alone for the most part. There's still people in the gym, but you know, they're working in this section together. And she's blushing, right? She's got a little bead of sweat and everything. And also, she did say, I've never been at school this late before, so I'm feeling a bit anxious. I suppose that is, maybe that might also be the case as well, the fact that she decided to take this risk. Okay, I'm starting to understand it a little bit better now, because I didn't really catch it, because I kind of just thought, like, she's just saying that to say that. But no, I get it. As someone who has, like, curfew, and then, like, if you break that curfew for the first time ever, yeah, you're gonna be a little riddled with anxiety. And and that kind of goes with the idea when her mom, when she sees her phone and, like, her mom is calling her and texting her, and she just, and, like, that anxiety that she had built up, you know, it started swelling, right? And she's just like, oh shit, I need to get out of here. Okay, so I'm starting to understand the scene more now. And so I'm starting to see why Komura is acting the way that he is, because he, you know, in a way that you, you know, if you like somebody in whatever, you might be able to empathize with their situation a whole lot better, or sympathize with their situation a whole lot better. So the idea of her feeling very anxious and her still trying to work, and Komura's coming and he's picking up on the situation. He also sees the phone and everything. And he sees the way that, well, he doesn't see the way that she looks at it, but he sees the way that she reacts to it, right? She needs to get the fuck home. And also, of course, we've got Asuka and, what's his name again? Yashia? Whatever, Lenny face guy's name is? I think it's Yashia. And so, he leaves. He sees that she's in very much a hurry right now because she's trying to find her fucking shoe, but she just can't find it. And so she ends up running too, right? He sees her that she's very much in distress, I suppose, huh? And she stands here and take a moment to give herself a bit of a cry before going home. Right? It's the anxiety swelling up on her and she just needs to release it just a little bit. But here's Komura, who watches her cry and realizes that, you know, she took a big risk. For this girl took a big risk, and as I said, the idea of like, oh man, tomorrow she'll be scolded by her mom, she'll have been scolded by her mom and missed her morning cocoa. She's gonna be feeling a little sad the next day. That really sucks. And I will say, like, you know, I get it. In middle school, this situation is probably like such a bad fucking situation for kids, right? But I was just thinking about, like, you know, this isn't really as bad as it could be. She could have gotten a worse type of punishment instead of, you know, having missed her Moin Coco. But I kind of get the idea, and also the idea of Komura. If he has the idea of, oh, maybe she is coming here, she is staying after her curfew to walk home with me, right? If he does continue to think that, then he will continue to think that, oh shit, right? She's feeling this way because of me. So, I get it. I kind of like it. Also, I will say, her mom, absolute fucking savage. Why were you out so late? Oh, whatever, just eat your dinner. And then Komura comes in to try and tell her, you know, like, oh, I was wearing her shoe, and she, you know, I was wearing her shoe, and, you know, she was trying to look for her shoe, and that's why she's out so late. Trying to give her an excuse, which, again, I still kind of don't understand that, like, why didn't... I mean, okay, other than the fact that Mie is probably riddled with anxiety on the fact that she broke her curfew and she's going to get scolded by her mom, she's going to miss her cocoa and everything. She probably doesn't have it at the top of her head that she should say what she should, which, in honesty, is like a half-truth. Or, no, I mean, I feel like it would be, yeah, for the most part, it's you know, she could always just say a bit of a half-truth. I mean, Komura's out here fucking... hold on, let me look at what he was saying again. So, these are Mie-san's shoes. I wore them home by accident. They're the same shoes, so... Sorry, Mie. You didn't end up getting home late because of it, did you? Wait, what? You didn't end up getting home late because of it, did you? What? You didn't end up getting home late? Alright, the sentence is confusing me. I mean, if the sentence was, you ended up getting home late because of it, didn't you? That would make sense. But, like, you didn't end up getting home late because of it, did you? Alright, we're gonna be here for a while if I keep thinking about that sentence. So, did you, because you didn't have your shoes, that's why you're home late. Yeah, he's giving her that excuse. Which, no, I'm not gonna go back to what I was talking about. And also, Mie is pretty tall, isn't she? I mean, tall in terms of, like, her mom's height. Let me check again. Yeah, she's as tall as her mom, and she's only in middle school. I mean, technically, girls for comes first, right? Somewhere around elementary. So after that, we've got Komura, who's just like, oh, I'm sorry, Mie. I just want to see you happy tomorrow. I'm sorry for being selfish. Sorry for being a little creepy. Which, you know, when it really comes to these rom-coms, these boys, they always really be out here fucking being creepy and stalkerish and all that, but it's okay because the girl likes her. The girl likes him. It's alright. But yeah, he goes on, he's just like, oh, I'm so selfish. I'm beyond hope. What is going on there? Huh. Let me continue this. If he says, no, it just cuts to black. Okay. And then it goes to the next scene where she's got her glasses, she's doing fine, she's got her morning cocoa, because her dad allowed her to have the cocoa. Thank goodness I didn't cause trouble. Thank God I wasn't suspected as a stalker. You know, I'm still trying to figure out, like, cause Komura has grown, right? They used to be at the same height, but now Mie is here and Komura is kind of like right here. She's kind of like at his shoulder height now, right? He's been growing, to which if he's been growing, then like his feet must be growing as well, right? Y'all can't have the same shoe size for the most part, especially if Komura's a growing boy. But maybe they I don't know, maybe he still might just still have the same shoe size for now and he's just gonna get bigger feet later as he continues growing. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to. Then again, when I think about it, I did stay as like, right, my shoe size, the US shoe size is like, and also for, you know, female shoe size, it's about like, when I was in high school, when I was in like elementary, middle school, it's about like 5 feet, sorry, 5 inch, 4 or 5 inches, and then in high school it was like 6 inches, or 5.5, 6 inches, and now I'm kind of like up to 7 inches afterwards. Okay, makes sense. He could probably still wear her shoe by accident. Maybe it might be a little tight, but that's fine. And so after this, we got what is Mie's diary. He's out here reading. Yashia's out here watching him read it. Number 2, I want to yell a thread, but since it was night, I asked my dad to come with me, and then I broke the curfew, right? Yeah, my mom couldn't let me have any cocoa, but my dad allowed it. Right, her dad spoils her. It's, I feel like it's a typical parent dynamic in a lot of people's household, right? Where the mom, especially in, like, Asian household, where, like, the mom is the strict one, and then the dad is the one who's just kind of like, whatever, just let my son or daughter do whatever, right? Just let our son and daughter do whatever. Right, he's a little bit more on the supportive side, but also very much on the spoilery side. Anyways, back in the Kochuro Festival, where he's looking at the flapjack octopus, and he's over here like, fuck, dude, she's over here. He's also had that same thought too, where he's like, man, she's really putting ideas into what she wants to make. Meanwhile, I'm just making this round thing. It's just a fucking pincushion. And he feels a little worthless compared to her, perhaps. And he's over here just staring intensely at it, and right afterwards he sees her staring at his stuff, and he's just so riddled with insecurity that he can't even come to the idea that the way that she's looking at his reminds of how the way that he looks at her stuff. It's very funny that Mie, well, it's not funny, but it's, in terms of, like, different thinking, right? Mie, right, she's got anxiety and all that, and she's got a little bit of insecurity, but I think that she's not on as big of a level as Komura, where she's still able to connect things together, right? She saw Komura 3 episodes ago, and see the way that he reacts, and she's able to figure that out from the way her friend Asuka acts when she's got like her crush and everything, right? She's able to put 2 and 2 together. And Komura over here, he's unable to put 2 and 2 together. I suppose it's because the other comparison that he has to do is himself, and he refuses to compare himself. It's kind of like the idea of, oh, Mie just likes staring at people's face, and definitely not my face. Whatevs. But afterwards, they've got themselves a little conversation about just looking at faces. And well, hold on, I wanted to look at this scene again. Dude, Someya has taken up like 4 seats. She's just over here laying on Hibuchi. God, dude, these two. Very nice. Can we just get a side story of these two instead? Anyways. He finally goes and asks, why do you want to see my face so often? And she says, it's calming. And he's just kind of like, oh, okay. I guess he's expecting a more straight answer from her. Like, oh, it's because I like you. That's why I look at your face. And he kind of asks, like, what was I expecting, right? Which I assume that's what he was expecting, that she's going to say, oh, it's because I like you. That's why I stare at your face so often. Let's see, where else? Where did she... It's calming, but... I still think I've been carried away. Yeah. If you want to look for her... Okay. And so... It's selfish, but a little creepy. Oh, I will say, you are a teenager. You are expected to be selfish. Finally, at the end, Mie's out here putting the final nail in the coffin, where she says, you're kind of like a dad. To which, you know, when she says you're kind of like a dad, she also probably means that you kind of remind me of my dad. But Komura, unfortunately for him, so fucking insecure, and also doesn't know psychology in terms of, like, Freudian psychology. Doesn't understand that, that, you know, in both boys and moms, in terms of, like, how, Freudian psychology works, right? It's the idea that you've been raised by your parents, hopefully, or whatever, whoever's the guardian that's been raising you, right? And if you are attracted to the opposite sex, or if you are attracted to the same sex, right, you would look at your parent. So in this case with Mie, right, she's attracted to the opposite sex, so she's going to look at her dad and she's going to think about all the traits that she likes from her dad. And when she sees other guys that, you know, could potentially be interesting, right, inside her head, she's unconsciously comparing their traits to her dad, right? And if they give a big reminder to her dad, right? If they make her, right, her dad makes her feel safe, and Komura makes her feel safe, and that's very much how that's very much dad-like for her. Right? And that's why she could, in her ways, that's why she finds him attracting. It's because he has very much the traits that is similar to her dad. And that's totally that's totally fine. It's all, you know, sometimes it's a, when you think about it, it's a little it's a little oof, but that's tend to be how it is, especially, you know, if you look up to your dad or something, right? When you go out into the world and you find your new boyfriend or whatever, you're going to compare them to the one person that you look up to, or the one person that you know, who has raised you and such. Albeit, I will say, even if you might not end up liking your dad, right? Maybe they might be like, we're going down a dark route here. Even if we're going, you know, even if they might be like a little abusive or something, you feel some sort of sense of familiarity, right? And even though you don't like your dad because he's an abusive motherfucker, you feel that sense of familiarity with another dude who might end up being abusive to you as well, right? But you end up going with that person because that's what you know, and it's really hard for you to get out of that cycle sometimes. So yeah, so you know, all I can say is Komura just once he gets into high school, hopefully he takes like psychology class or something, and he'll figure it out. I don't know if they offer psychology class in Japanese high school, but hopefully they do. I will say this is the first episode that I do feel a slight tinge of frustration from Komura, right? And I know that people have been frustrated at Komura in general, just because, like, the way that he acts in the first few episodes, albeit I will say he has matured since he's gone to the next grade, right? They're third years now. I don't know why I thought they were second years, but they were second years before, they're third years now. Sorry, and he's starting to mature a little, but he's still unfortunately fucking riddled with this insecurity that he has, which, you know, I'll be honest, I understand people's frustration towards Komura's character in a sense that it feels like it's already been done multiple times, that actually, okay, hold on. Here's the one thing that I find in terms of a little frustrating for Komura is alright, I was gonna say something, I was gonna yet again make another comparison to Bokuyama and our boy Ichikawa, but I don't know, in terms of like the form of insecurity, if I were to look at Ichikawa, I'm able to understand it a whole lot more. I'm able to understand why he feels the way that he is. I'm more able to understand why he feels, why he's able to feel it. But I think the thing that I like more about Ichikawa compared to Komura is that Ichikawa has very much of an introspection towards himself, a whole lot more than Komura does, right? He's able to come to the conclusion a whole lot more, but he has his own insecurity that prevents him from going all the way. And so, I don't know, it just feels like there's something missing for Komura, right? I feel like we need to get, I feel like we just, it's, okay, so like, I get it, you're insecure and all that, right? But where does it stem from? For the most part, right? It's like, you know, you might, because like kids, they're often very headstrong and they're very, well, selfish, but they're also, for the most part, kind of shameless, right? And then they eventually start to learn things that they should and shouldn't be doing, and then things that ends up causing them having like a bit of an insecurity, things that cause them anxiety, right? Because when kids are born and they're growing up and everything, they're having the best time of their fucking life. They see the world in ways that we're not able to, or if you can't remember how your childhood is, or if you had a really bad childhood. But you know, kids are able to see things in ways that we as adults can't. And then eventually, as they grow up, right, us adults and the real world, we just start fucking beating them down, and then they start getting. That's what I personally feel, that they start getting that sense of insecurity, start getting that sense of anxiety. And so I feel like we haven't really peered much into Komura's life and like what causes him to have that insecurity. And that's the one thing that I like about Bokuyama, is that you eventually learn. And also, you know, when I talk about Bokuyama, I am talking in retrospect, albeit I'm technically also speaking in retrospect for this one too, but I don't really remember too much about this part of the story. All I remember is the current stuff that's happening right now, so I don't super remember like this whole cultural festival stuff. But yeah, in terms of like Ichikawa, right, you have an idea on why he's insecure about himself, and here at Komura, we just don't know. All we know is that he's just some fucking insecure boy. And I know that it's very frustrating, and I know that, you know, you just want to be like, I just want to watch a Chad who's just gonna be here and do Chadly things. To which, you know, there are some rom-coms that are kind of like that, but the current rom-com like this, you know, the reasons why we have these characters a lot of the times is because I would assume the Japanese audience are able to understand and relate to this sort of character. Just like how a lot of hentais have a lot of old, aging, balding men who are overweight. Right? It's hitting some sort of audience, and that's why they keep doing it. So, you know, it's unfortunate. I do wish we have a little bit more of headstrong male characters, especially when it comes to rom-coms, and I do wish that we have more. I'm about to go into a rant about male characters in rom-coms now. It's just that like male characters in rom-coms and in like harems and stuff, right, they're very much a blank slate, right? You toss a little insecurity, you toss a little anxiety in there, and like other boys, they'll read that and they're like, wow, that's me. Right, they'll be able to relate to the main character a little bit. It might not hit for other people in like, especially like the Western audience, right? We think about it a little bit different. But okay, I was about to get lost in the sauce. But yeah, like male, I genuinely do wish we had more interesting male characters, which is, you know, also why I do like Ichikawa, just because I feel like he is very different, albeit he fits within the same formula as the male rom-com characters. Main characters, but but again, as I said, he's very introspective about himself, and that's what I like about him. And even though he has to deal with his own insecurity, he's able to, he is willing to try and work it out for the most part. So so basically, what I'm just saying is that I want male characters, main male characters in rom-coms that aren't just blank slates, that aren't just, oh, I'm just a boy who's a normal person. I'm just a dull boy. I have no interesting trait about me other than I'm normal. I look like every other fucking main male character. And I may or may not be insecure, or I may or may not have very be thick-headed, or I may or may not have anxiety and all that, right? The typical trait that's gonna make that's gonna make the average Japanese boy be like, that me. and you know, I kind of had that sense. I do feel that way. Oh, well, no, I don't feel. I have felt that way before, back in middle school, where I had watched a lot of ecchi and harem anime, and the reason why I watched a lot of that was because originally, I don't know where we're I'm just ranting at this point, but originally in middle school, I had felt like I not could relate to the boy, but I felt like I could put my mind into the male character and just feel like I could live his life or whatever, right? And be in the situation surrounded by hot anime girl or whatever. But eventually I went on to high school and I realized that Yuri is actually my shit, and then I just can't watch harem anime for the most part anymore, just because I cannot relate myself to the male character anymore. And also, going into a very weird area that I have talked about before, so I'm not really uncomfortable talking about it, but I have gone through some stage of gender dysphoria and whatever, and I had genuinely thought that I felt like I should have been a boy, or that I was a boy, and that's why in middle school I was able to relate myself a whole lot more to these male characters. So in that sense, right, I do feel like I'm able to kind of get what these type of characters is. Again, they're blank slates. And then, after high school, and I discover Yuri, and I discover the whole idea of that, and I've just kind of come to the idea that, I don't want to be a boy. I feel much more comfortable. Eventually, I just feel a lot more comfortable in the way that I am. And now you know why Yuri holds such a special place in my heart. Congratulations. If you're still here towards the end of this rant, congratulations. I have talked about this during Wonder Egg Priority, if you want to know where that was the first time I talked about it. So thanks for coming and listening to my TED Talk. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.